Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life features stories to inspire and motivate you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. Visit cyacyl.com.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Inside each one of us is a dream. Some of us tuck it away so deeply that we've forgotten it's there. Too often we let fear get in the way of achieving our heart's desire. According to today's guest, Marcia Wieder, once you know what you really love and want, you can go out and make it happen. Marcia is a published author, personal transformation expert, and former president of the National Association of Women Business Owners. She's been the catalyst for turning dreams into reality for thousands of people for more than 20 years. Marcia has appeared several times on Oprah and The Today Show to share her message of a passion-filled life. She was featured in her own PBS special, Making Your Dreams Come True, which is the title of her popular selling book. Marcia's latest endeavor is the Million Dreams Campaign, an interactive online community with the goal to help 1 million dreams be realized over the next year. Welcome, Marcia. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Joan. It's great to be here.
Well, Marcia, I want to let you know right up front that you have 999,999 left because I'm signing up right now.
And what's the dream? I love that. What's the dream you're going to register?
I'm actually living it, so we're going to take this to the next level.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to talk to you about, your book, Making Your Dreams Come True. I mentioned this briefly before the interview. I am living everything that you write and speak about. I was a work-from-home soccer mom that had a crazy idea for a radio show and a digital magazine for the show, and a lot of people told me I was crazy. Some said I was making a fool of myself. But I didn't listen, and I worked every day, Marcia, to overcome these fears. And as I conquered each fear, I learned to believe in myself more and more, and I know that I grew stronger. And now I'm here talking to you, and I talk to the great minds of the world, and through the show and through the magazine, and I get to inspire people because I followed my passion and my dreams. So I want to thank you for writing a book like this so that maybe other people can get rid of some of that fear, get off that couch, and start to follow their life's purpose.
I'm sitting here with a big smile on my face as you're talking because there are a lot of dream stealers and dream stompers and dream killers, and I'm so grateful that you were unstopped by them, because when any one of us says, you know what, I don't really care what you think because this is my dream, it's what matters to me, and then we actually take action to do it, that sends a pretty powerful message to the people around us that we're serious about it, and maybe starts to wake something up inside of them as well.
And as we're sitting here speaking about it, and, you know, my little speech, my rah-rah, but the thing is, for someone who's sitting down right now and is really paralyzed with fear, what is the first thing that that person can do to start to take action?
Well, a lot of people will say to me that the biggest obstacles that are stopping them from going for their dreams are, time and money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. But when we drill down just a little bit deeper, what's right there is the biggest obstacles. You just touched upon it. Fear. Our fear and doubt. Our fear keeps us from ever opening up our mind to possibilities, to exploring other ways. Like, instead of going, well, I don't have enough money, or but what if I go for it and I fail, dreamers have learned to really, wherever there's an obstacle, even an obstacle called fear, design a strategy to manage it. So when somebody says to me, this is a great story, a woman I know used to make in her kitchen wonderful cookies, biscotti, her name was Goldie, and everybody told her that the cookies were so wonderful that she should take them out and market them. And when I asked her what was stopping her, she said, I'm terrified. And the secret question is, terrified of what? Because she said, well, I'm afraid nobody's going to buy them. Well, I know the strategy for that. And I said to her, how many cafes would you be willing to take your cookies to in the next week and see if you can get orders? And she was, precious. She folded her arms across her chest, and she was like, I can't believe you're doing this to me. I said, well, I'm being your dream coach. I'm supporting you in taking your next step. Well, she took her cookies out to a little restaurant, and they said yes, and another one said yes, and a year later, she met with a national distributor. Her cookies are being sold on the web. She made enough money with her little hobby turned business to actually start a fund to put her daughter through college. And so when somebody says to me, I'm terrified or I'm afraid, the question is, afraid of what? Because, it's hard to design a strategy to manage the obstacle if we're not really clear what it's about. So there's lots of ways to deal with that terror and to deal with the voice of the doubter. The first thing is to recognize it. The second thing is to realize it's not the whole story. It's just part of you. And the third is to really take some kind of action to demonstrate that you're more committed to your dream than you are to your doubt, fear, or reality.
Well, you know what I've done, Marcia? I've eliminated the word failure from my vocabulary. I have decided that there's no such thing as failure. And if something doesn't go the way I wanted, that it's either just not the right time or there's a lesson for me to learn. And once I got rid of that word failure, I don't have anything to fear because I can't fail. And that's kind of how I psyched myself.
Joan, that is so brilliant. I'm praising you, because that is so brilliant, because that's the thing that really most people are so terrified of. Now, I will tell you, I learned how to fail early on, and the good news is I've learned that I can fail without considering myself a failure. Mm-hmm. I've learned how to fail with dignity, so I'm not terrified of it. And as a dear friend of mine says, failure is just feedback and an opportunity to really course correct. So I love what you said, and I think that if you can teach that to the people around you and to your listeners, you can really drastically improve the quality of life for so many people.
What you've just spoken about and what I've just spoken about, is that when you refer to resetting our mind?
Well, it's such a beautiful phrase. I don't know that I've ever said it that way. We talk about reframing, looking at something differently, like you just talked about and I just talked about around failure. But the idea of a reset in our brain, I think that is profound, and I think you should make it the title of your next book. Resetting your mind. It's all yours. It came out of you. I'm just giving it right back to you and acknowledging that it's actually quite brilliant. Because reframe is kind of a repackaging, but resetting is a do-over. And I do believe that any time we need to and want to, we can really stop and ask what I consider to be, for me, it was the most confronting question I ever asked myself. And the question was, how do I want my life to be? And the reason it's confronting is that if you're someone who practices living with integrity, which is so core to making your dreams come true, the next question must be, and what am I willing to do about it? Because it's one thing to say we want this and make changes and complain about what's not working. As you know, it's a very, very different thing to actually do something about it.
Now, Marcia, we've talked about fear. What do we do about those negative voices in our head? All those, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I can't. How do we get rid of that?
Oh, thank you for asking. It's such an important question. I call that the voice of the doubter. So inside of us, we have many different parts, subpersonalities, different voices. We have the dreamer that says, yes, I can. We have the doubter that says, no, you can't. And we have the realist who says, how much is it going to cost me? Mm-hmm. Where am I going to get the time and where am I going to get the money? So if we turn the voice of the doubter down, it becomes the realist. But before we turn the doubter down, I often encourage people to hear from this voice. If you can start to get curious and interview it and ask good questions, the voice tends to quiet and calm down and get a little more quiet. What I know is this, is that if you have not dealt with your own doubt and you meet another doubter on the road, their doubt will magnify yours. But if you've dealt with your own doubt and you meet another doubter on the road and you share your dream with them, by contrast, it actually becomes the opportunity to deepen your commitment and your conviction to your dreams. So I think as we become more aware that we have a part of us that is overly realistic, we have a part of us that gives us our list of reasons why we can't. The three human big ones, you just touched on a couple of them. Scarcity, there's not enough time, not enough money, not enough of me to go around. Inadequacy, I'm not blank enough. Smart enough, rich enough, tall enough, fast enough, and then trust. I don't trust you, me, life, or the process, so therefore I'm not going to take a risk. Those are the three big reasons why we tend to stay kind of immobilized in status quo. But in my work, what I teach is that where dreams come from is you make them up. Some of them are based on need, like putting food on the table. Some of them are based on desire, like your dream of writing a best-selling book or traveling around the world. And then there's a whole other category of dreams that are the expression of your purpose that are usually the most profound. Short answer, I would say, is instead of ignoring the doubter, because when we ignore it, it either gets louder and then that's all we hear, or it gets softer and then it can unconsciously sabotage our dreams. We want to make it more conscious. And by the way, it sabotages our dreams with 3 little words. But what if? But what if I go for my dream? But what if I fail? But what if this really is a bad idea? What I teach people to do is separate out your dreams and your doubts, because the number one way that we sabotage our dreams is by projecting our fears and doubts into the dream with those 3 little words, but what if?
And Marcia, in reality, how often do all those what ifs actually come true when somebody follows a dream?
What an amazing, boy, if I had a nickel, what an amazing question. I mean, what I know is that with one step toward your dream, you're now in action on the dream. And with one step, you demonstrate to the world around you, and maybe more importantly to yourself, that you're not just thinking about it and talking about it, you're doing something about it. And that's how we can start to really pump up the muscle, so that when that doubter voice does get activated, or that but what if voice does try to derail us, instead we can say, you know, I'm going to prove to myself that I'm serious about this dream by taking action. And then everything changes. And you literally can develop greater muscle. So you might start with a small dream. In my world, not all dreams need to be Mother Teresa Save the World dreams. Your dream of more quality time with your family and friends. Your dream of being healthy and physically fit. Your dream of whatever it is, you know, whatever it is that matters to you. Your dream of being paid well for doing work that you love. No dream is too big and no dream is too small. The question is, what's important to you and what are you willing to do about it to make it a reality?
Marcia, we need to take a break. When we return, I'm going to talk to Marcia about her 3-step process to realizing your dream. This is Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman, and our guest today is author, speaker, and personal transformation expert, Marcia Wieder. Marcia is the author of the popular book, Making Your Dreams Come True. Marcia, before break, I mentioned that I was going to talk to you about your 3-step process to realizing a dream, and this can be found in Marcia's book, Making Your Dream Come True. At the root of all of our dreams, I would assume would be passion, because without that, you don't have the drive to move forward, as we've been talking about. So what would your first step be to deciding that you're going to take action and you want to accomplish your dream?
Oh, boy. So I was going to go in 2 different directions here, so let me see if I can give you an answer that ties it all together. It really is true. One of the first times I was ever on Oprah, I was on as the passion expert. It was quite an honor, and the whole idea was that, you know, that people who do what they love have more energy, more vitality. As a matter of fact, it's been medically proven that people with passion and dreams live 7 to 10 years longer than people who are just going through the motions. Mm-hmm. So on the topic of passion, and then I can give you a very quick, succinct answer to the 3 steps, and we can elaborate from there if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
Great. So we can go on a passion quest. On a passion quest, you take a period of time. It could be a day, a weekend, a month, a year. You don't put the rest of your life on hold, but you take some time to discover, who are you? What is it that really matters to? What is it that you really love? Because what matters to us in our 30s and 40s is very different than what matters to us in our 50s or in our second half of life. So I think it's really valuable. And for me, it was doing a passion quest when I was doing volunteer work for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, where I actually discovered my life's work. And that was 25 years ago, so it was kind of shocking, but that was really the moment for me where something inside of my whole heart and soul said yes, and I knew that I was being shown something really important about my life. The 3 steps, I have a very simple way of talking about that. You know, when you go to school, you learn the ABCs. Mm-hmm. Well, at Dream University, we teach the CBAs. C, get clear about what it is that you do and don't want. And for many people, that's the hardest step. B, believe in yourself, which is a choice. You know, we're aware that our attitudes and beliefs are never neutral and that they either move us forward or hold us back. but I think we often forget that we can choose what we believe. That's a choice. And then A, prove that you really do believe in your dreams by taking action. And as a matter of fact, I have a gift for your listeners where they can get 3 free ebooks that talk about CBA. They just go to dreamuniversity.com/gift, GIFT, and the 3 books will help them get clarity about what they want, believe more fully in their dreams, and help them design shortcuts for accomplishing more faster. So dreamuniversity.com/gift, because we love presents. So, because you were, the 3 steps. I mean, and it's an interesting thing because they can sound so simple. Oh, it's just the CBAs, but that was 25 years of my life's work to be able to get it down to something that simple and that succinct. And it is surprising to most people that the first step, the getting clear, is often the hardest. But that ties in with your question about passion. Because if we can really start to say no more and no thank you, especially as women, if we can, if we don't have to do something and we don't want to do it, if we can say no thank you, clear away some clutter, we can start to make more space in our life for dreaming to help us figure out what we do want and then have more time to actually pursue those dreams.
Well, and Marcia, I speak often, Dr. Gay Hendricks wrote a book called The Big Leap, and in it he talks about our 3 zones, our zone of competence, our zone of excellence, and our zone of genius. And I believe that when you find your passion, that is when you enter your zone of genius. And that's when, I hear it in your voice. It's how I live my life. It's when you're not working any longer. This is your calling. It's your journey. You eat, you sleep, you breathe it. It's just what you would do around the clock, 7 days a week, because it's what you love. And that's what I think everyone's in search of, and when you find that, you are so lucky. And that is what you're saying here, to find your passion, to find your dream, to find what's going to inspire you. And then when you figure that out, then we go into talking about having the belief and taking action. So I agree with you. That is absolutely the key, is to find your passion and figure out where you want to go.
I love it. I feel it and hear it in your voice as well. And when the Oprah people called and they said, we're looking for a passion expert, I said, you want me? And they said, well, we're interviewing 30 different authors. They called me back the next day. They said, we picked you. I said, why? They said, you were the most passionate.
A passion expert with passion.
I know Gay Hendricks. We're dear friends. We're both members of the Transformational Leadership Council. His book is outstanding. And the people that I know that are the most successful not only love what they're doing, but exactly what you said, Joan, we have become our message. It really is the essence of who we are. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to act like it. It is who we are. And I think that opportunity is available to every single person who's listening to this interview. Find what it is that you love. Stop doing the things that are sucking the life out of you that you're complaining about. Mm-hmm. If you have a choice, say no thank you, clear away some clutter, and start doing more things that light you up, that you love. Because not only will you be happier, but you're going to live a longer life as well. And by the way, to all the women who are listening who think, well, isn't it selfish to focus on my dreams? Shouldn't I be putting everybody else's needs before mine? Well, not only is it not selfish, but it's an act of generosity to do more of what you love and to live a passionate life. Everybody's lifted up by who you are when you're doing that.
Absolutely. I agree with that because you know what, Marcia? I did that, and I ended up at age 46 looking in the mirror, not having any idea who was looking back at me. So I agree with you. It is an act of generosity. It is the kindest thing you can do for everyone and for yourself. And there is nothing selfish about that at all. So I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Thank you.
Now, Marcia, tell us a little bit about your Million Dreams campaign.
Well, our mission at Dream University is to change how people think, speak, and act upon their dreams. So we're not talking about fantasies like winning the lottery. This is really a question of what matters to you and what are you going to do about it. And what I know is that when people actually take their dreams out of their head and go public with it, that increases the likelihood of it happening by like 1,000 times. So we created a site, milliondreamscampaign.com. It's a completely free, safe place where you can go and you can actually register up to 10 dreams. And if you're inspired, you can add a wow within 1 week action step that you're going to take. So maybe your dream is to have your own radio show. Well, within 1 week, maybe you'll go interview somebody who has their own show. Or maybe your dream is to own your own home. Within 1 week, maybe you'll drive around in the neighborhood you want to live in. Or maybe your dream is to get healthy and physically fit. Within 1 week, you'll hire a fitness coach or you'll empty out your refrigerator. It's with the small steps that we actually demonstrate that we're committed to taking action. Our intention is to help 1 million dreams come true by the end of next year.
And also, if you'd like more information about Marcia, you can visit her website, marciawieder.com. That's W-I-E-D-E-R, marciawieder.com. And her book is Making Your Dreams Come True. You can also visit our website, which is cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on our site, listen to past shows as podcasts, read the digital magazine, sign up for our mailing list, take part in the CYACYL book club, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Marcia, I have enjoyed this interview. It is one of the fastest interviews I've conducted. I love your energy. I think this is what happens when two crazy, energetic people get together. So I do thank you for being here, and I would love to have you come back and talk more. I have pages for you that we haven't even touched.
Well, I would be honored to come back because obviously you're a kindred spirit. Just invite me back and I'll come back on any time.
Again, our guest today was Marcia Wieder. You can visit marciawieder.com for more information. This is Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.